Hey, Don here. We're going to talk snare drums and tune one up today. This particular snare drum, this is the LST148. This is the big 8-inch, the metal snare drum, S.L.P series of Tama snare drums. And today we're going to tune this up and see if we can get it to sound good, so stick with us.
Oh yeah! Welcome to the show!
When I recorded this video, I set up a separate microphone pointing at the snare drum just so we could hear what it sounds like realistically on a microphone. And I was also wearing a lapel mic, and that sounded horrible with the drum because it captured all the ambience of the room. So I'm going to be switching back and forth between those two mics, so don't get confused by what you're hearing there. Okay, we're back. I toured as a drummer, and I have my way I like to tune drums. And I thought I'd go over a few things just to get maybe a little bit of an idea how you can start if you buy a brand new drum, what you should do. So the first thing that I did is I made sure that with my drum key that these lugs were backed out to loose. So now it's especially on, we're going to work on the resonant head first. So they're loose, basically finger tight. I can go and move these with my finger if I want. Okay, so the other trick I like to do, I don't want to hear the snares rattling, so I've loosened them up as far as they'll go. I'll just take a stick and put that underneath there. So now I can just hear the head, all right? So what I want to do is I can feel where an tension starts. So I'm going to do one turn on each one, going crossways. Oops, let me move the stick out of the way. So 2 half turns basically. And what I'm doing is I'm going until I start to feel tension, and then I'm doing 1 full turn. And I'm going crossways just like you would do lugs on a tire. You know the routine. You've probably seen that before. Okay, over here. All right, so what I'm noticing right now is that all the wrinkles now are gone. And you can kind of hear this, okay? Now, here's what I do. Here's how I tune these snare drums. I'll go around and do one more turn because I like the bottom head to be pretty tight because I don't want extra resonance and rattle going on. I want a nice snappy sound of snare drum. Well, actually, let's just do half turns and see where we're at. Here. And you can kind of feel the tension as you're going here too. And if you get one that's a little looser, just kind of get it to where it's even tension. And then we're back to here. Oops, I got to do this one. Okay. Pretty even tension all the way around. It should be that way. I'm actually going to go a little tighter, so let's do one more time around, okay? Let's start here. Do half turn again. And the last one. Now we're getting close. You can hear that, okay? Okay. All right, we're going to stop there. I might come back, add a little more tension. Like I said, I like this bottom head to be pretty tight. So let's go ahead. So now let's flip it over. And all right, so now I got to do the same thing on this head. I got to loosen it up because you have no idea at the factory if it's even tension or not, or what they did when they put this head on to ship it. So I'm back, and yeah, that one was really tight, okay? So that's what you'll find when you do that. Some will be pretty loose, but some will be really tight. And they probably use some kind of a tool to just throw these on quick. Probably not a drill, but something similar to that. You want to get these to where, like I said, they're just loose, like finger tight. All right? Yeah, that's about where we're at. Now what we're going to do, let's go one full turn all the way around, going in a crisscross pattern. And I'll start right here. And once again, if it's a little loose, I get it to where it just starts to have a little tension, and then I do the 2 half turns. Oh, that was pretty loose, so 2 half turns. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and bring the snares in and just see how it sounds. All right. Now, there's some tricks that I do as far as loosening and tightening a few lugs just to get some of the ring out. But so you can hear I'm tightening this. There's really loose. Hear that ring? That's because this head is perfectly tuned to itself, or at least it's close. So what you can do now is you can, if you mess around with loosening one head, so now we're getting that thuddy, deep sound. A lot of guys will get some moon gel, so they'll put something and they'll just lay one here. That's a great way to get the ring if you don't want that. Some guys really like that, depending on the music you're playing. Another thing I like to do is the O-rings. Okay, you can get a pack of those. We sell those from Remo or what different companies. But here's a little hack. If you got old snare heads, guess what? Take a razor blade and cut out a ring. Doesn't have to look pretty. Nobody sees it but you. And you can use that if you're in a pinch. You don't have one of the nice O-rings, but that will. So now that's the thuddy low pitch, kind of what you'd hear some players play. I'm going to go flip it over, tighten the bottom head again, and see if we can get a nice crack out of this thing. All right, let's do another half turn all the way around here. All right, let's see if that changed anything. I'm going to bring this up. Let me bring these back up where they were. You can experiment. Same thing if I do a tom tuning video. You're tightening across, okay? So these lugs affect each other. So that one's a little lower. You can raise it by doing this side or even across. Hear that? hear those harmonics and those overtones? I don't know if that's coming across with this mic. Alright, let's kick the snare back. Now we're getting there. Alright, let me loosen that. You're getting a little bit of that ring, but honestly, with a deep snare like this, you can tune it up. I might even like it a little bit tighter, guys. I'm gonna go quarter turn around again and see where we end up here. Now we're getting there. I like a little ring when I'm playing. Do you want to get that ring out of there? You can get a ring, a moon gel, or you can start experimenting. I saw a video on YouTube. Guy was tightening the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, and they were loosening a couple other ones at turn or two. That's one of my tricks with toms. If you don't want it to just ring, you loosen one. Okay? That'll help it die off a little. I'd play that out right now. That ring doesn't bother me when I'm playing live. I like the snare to sound like a snare drum and not just a cardboard box. I hate that. If you're going for that, then it doesn't really matter. Just get the tension where you want and throw a bunch of deadening on it. I want to hear a little bit of... So anyway, that'd be about perfect for me. Just a little bit of that ring. So, this is how I do it, and it's just playing around with it. Let's adjust some tensions. Let's see what we can do. Every snare drum's gonna have a different nuance to it and different characteristics, so you gotta play around. This is the first time I've ever tuned one of these up. It's very interesting. Still get that sense of a deep snare. This is good for me. This would be a good tension. And there you go. That's what I like. You might like something different. Guess what? Play with it until you get where you want with the thing. Awesome snare. Let me show you the... there it is. S.L.P series, okay? This one currently, at this recording, retails $550. Our sale price is $329.99. Got a couple of these in stock. If you're interested, check the link in the description. And if you got any questions about this or how I did this, go ahead, leave a comment, send me a message at teglermusic.com. You'll also find this on our eBay store and our Reverb store if you want to take a closer look at this particular snare drum. I think it sounds great. I'd take this out and play right now with it. Okay, guys, that's all I got. We'll see you next time.